fuck was the point in that?
Look at that.
Kind of insensitive of you, considering that Broke Nips at the back there can't see for shit. Also, what's wrong with his legs? He does not look well. Wait, is Broke Nips the little boy from the toys room? I seriously just figured it out. What the shit? He is!
Oh, yes. The storm is not as small as I thought. Hang on tight. Oh! Oh!
Is it over, Grandpa?
Thank God it was just one of those 20-second storms that happen sometimes, I guess.
Enough. I feel sick. I'm afraid and thirsty. I want something to eat.
You're sick, but you want something to eat. Good logic, dog.
To be fair though, that is what I end up saying after one of these films. Usually in the same distressed tone as well.
Up ahead. The island. That's the island, just like the one on the map.
You're right. Get ready to put into the shore. Thank God.
You mean gods? Since there was more than one of them at this time? Maybe this is set post-Kratos. I don't know.
Okay, so you know how so far every character in this has served some sort of purpose to the plot, minus the dog? Well, don't worry, because that is about to change in 3, 2, 1... The fuck?!
So they get to the island, where they meet a small seal and polar bear. And those of you who saw the Balto movie might be unfortunate enough to recognise who they are. You might also recognise that they do not belong on this island, given that these are Arctic creatures. But don't worry, the movie gives a perfectly sound explanation.
A polar bear on a sunny southern island.
So what? Even a polar bear needs a little warmth.
Oh, hey, Timbo, come over here. If that there isn't a boat.
What do they want here? There's nothing here except the two of us, of course.
Maybe they're shipwrecked.
They're actually coming ashore. Well, what about that? Come on, Judy.
Judy? So this seal stole the name of a dog that she used to live with? What a bitch.
Although technically in this context, she would have stolen off of the bitch. Although then again, dogs and seals are basically humans and mermaids to each other, so yeah, who cares?
If the map is correct, we can start the search for Atlantis from here.
Search interrupting bear!
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Look there, wild animals.
Never mind there, look at what your paw has become. It's a fucking creepy extremity, you disgusting monster. Get back in the sea.
Beasts. A polar bear on a sunny southern island.
It literally takes a genius to figure that out, huh?
Yes. The equivalent of Pythagoras was needed to point out that something was wrong with that. Because of course he was.
In Alaska, we used to live. Timlu was always freezing and shivering.
Alaska. You mean the same Alaska that won't be discovered until 1741 and won't even be named Alaska until 1784? The one that people will not even know exists until your bones are being ground up for fuel. That Alaska?
Of course my history is way off. These guys are obviously from Balto's time, which was 1919 AD. Which is only a bit before 146 BC.
Well, that does explain why the cast of Anastasia's still kicking about. I mean, they weren't doing their thing until 1918, which is only a couple of years ahead of Balto.
Jesus, Kronika really must have fucked up this time.
And I always had a cold, sneezing all the time. Like this. Achoo!
I can't believe it either. He sounded so much different when he did his pathetic sneeze back in Alaska. Or unnamed colonial project, as it was called back then.
I can't believe it. No need to be afraid, Uzo. They're harmless.
Huh? Harmless? The way you say it sounds like an insult.
Well, you do look like a bed-shitting nonce with no friends, so... yeah. I don't get it. How's that an insult?
Rubbish. I'm also harmless. We consider it a compliment.
I think the little guy there's nice.
But what do you want on this desolate island? Are you shipwrecked? Can I help you? Are you injured?
No, we're not shipwrecked. We're explorers. We want to discover the city of Atlantis.
Atlantis? What's that supposed to be?
Never mind that. What's that acting supposed to be?
Okay, so they tell us a lot of shit that we already knew, and then they split up looking for clues, because they're Scooby-Doo now or something. Then the seal kills himself. The end. Ugh, I wish. After whatever the fuck that was, these moronic seahorses turn up and say some shit that I don't care about, to which the seal just says, okay.
Okay.
I do love any underwhelming reactions to any piece of dialogue in movies like this, I'm not gonna lie.
These underwater segments go on for just shorter forever because they keep showing us these establishing shots. Like Dingo put any effort into the animation. What, you're trying to show us the whimsy? The problem is that it has mouse police syndrome and things often teleport around and just move in pre-prepared loops. Like, what's the point in that? Why are you proud of that? Also, what the fuck happens in them at all? These seahorses are cooks, this octopus is an ass, and this fish looks like he's ready to cry.
I found that fish to be the most relatable character.
And you're sure that you can swim in the sea with those things and not sink?
That's what I said.
Could I try it too?
I'm sure you could.
May I try it then?
If you give them back to me afterwards.
I promise.
Look, Petros.
Looks good.
By the way, those things are meant to be air wings, or armbands, or whatever you call them in your country. Basically, they're rubber, manufactured armband things that fill up with air. You know, like the ancient Greeks had.
I don't believe it! You've dared go in the water!
Yeah, and I can even swim.
And do any of your friends know Atlantis?
I'm sorry, but none of them know about a sunken city.
But I'm sure that Atlantis must be somewhere near here.
What are they doing?
The dolphins?
Oh, just what they do every day, practicing the number for our summer festival.
Summer festival? You sea creatures have festivals? Is a wicker man involved in any of them?
Dolphins are the smartest animals in the world. Maybe they know something.
That clever or not? Why, just the other day.
What?
Now, enough of that, Timbo. Judy, them.
Wow. It's beautiful. Wait, did that seal just appear out of nowhere? What the fuck is this shit?
Wow, don't often have guests here. My pleasure. Ivo.
The pleasure's mine. I'm Petrus. Grandpa says you're the smartest animals in the world.
Your grandpa must be pretty smart. Himself to know that. He's right. I have an answer to any question.
Big mouth. Do you know where Atlantis is?
Atlantis? No.
Is it?
Oh, so the dolphins are stupid. Well, whilst we're here, do you think you could deliver Grandpa Rick's baby? He looks like he's about due.
Somewhere close.
I can't imagine that, but let's see the plan. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I know it's hard to visualize a dolphin reading a book, but you'd think that they could have tried at least a couple of ways to find one that works better than that.
So the dolphin fucks off with their map, and then they talk about it for the next 10 years, only to come to the conclusion that no human can survive underwater for an extended period of time.
Not without practice, of course.
What's wrong? Come on.
You know, Pedros, when I think about it, I'm not so sure about that diving. I don't think I'll make it anymore.
But you're the one who wanted to find Atlantis.
Ah, yes, but when I said that, I was hoping to send more expendable people than myself to find it. People like you. So Pedro learns how to breathe water, or maybe he just drowned and the rest of the movie is his dying last thoughts. That'd be funny.
I didn't know where I was.
Well, it all turned out okay, but it's enough for today. Let's surface and take a good look at the map. Tomorrow we can start searching seriously again. Okay?
Okay.
Do you understand exactly? At about 90 meters deep, there's a rock. And then, there, you have to go right.
Oh, so you just have to go right after finding that one rock under the sea. Got it.
So we cut to this embarrassment as they dive back down and try to find Atlantis. Turns out that there's a cave down there, but it's cursed. So they and over it for half a century before backing out and going back to the surface to talk about it. Anyway, they get the ingenious idea that they can tie about 2 feet of rope around their waist and slowly lower themselves down into the cave. Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. That way, they'll have the means to be pulled back in case...
Well, never fucking mind then.
By the way, I literally just saved us 6 minutes of life by skimming through all that. You're welcome.
This also means that we're 30 minutes into a 40-minute film, and we've yet to see the titular city of Atlantis.
I know that Dingo often end up meandering a lot in their adaptations, but you'd think that in this case they'd want to get to the city sooner rather than later. I mean, wouldn't it be better to spend 10 minutes getting there and dinking around in Atlantis than 30 fucking around on the ocean bed and then finally seeing the place at the end, like it's an obligatory thing?
Well, to be fair, if they did put it in Atlantis, they couldn't do their usual shtick of inane animal crap. And who doesn't want to see Wabu as an octopus being an arse to everybody, and a reenactment of all the bad bits from Balto?
So he gets sucked down the pipes like a turd, and he ends up breaching a few seconds too early. So he has to go back down again and wait for his cue. It's then that we get to see the mythical city of Atlantis.
When Plato originally wrote about Atlantis, he didn't really put much into it to give us any idea as to what it was. It wasn't until Francis Bacon and eventually St. Thomas More came along with their ideas that we started to shape our own concepts as to what Atlantis could be. So, what do Dingo Pictures think it is?
We found it, Bobo. Wow, this year's Atlantis. Wow.
Better than I'd feared. Worse than I'd hoped.
This is not the way we planned it. I want to go back into the sea. I don't like it in this bathtub.
Who else lives down there but this wizard dude, these ancient Egyptians, this little blonde fairy, and a dwarf?
Just like Thomas More probably envisioned it. You know, after his head was cut off his body.
A human, an earthling. My goodness, this is impossible.
Your line delivery was impossible.
You see, it's not impossible. Grandpa was right. Atlantis does exist. You should never have found us. No human dare find us.
Wait, Rasputin?
Alright, no. Historical accuracy overload. We all know that Rasputin blew himself up with a bomb. He shouldn't be the king of Atlantis.
Well, his fat rat didn't seem to survive the blast, so maybe they just swapped the bodies over and everyone thought that it was him instead. Or maybe nobody gave a shit and he ended up sacrificing the fat rat so that he could become a god.
It's a riddle. Without diving equipment, as far as I know, the humans know nothing about oxygen tanks.
He must have fallen into our entrance by mistake. But how is that possible without any diving equipment? Robert showed me how, to stay underwater for as long as I need.
But you dolphins swore never to tell any human your secret.
Ah, well, they blackmailed me.
Rubbish!
Okay, I'm seeing two scenarios here. Both are stupid. So you've got these dolphins that know how to breathe underwater through some racial secret that they keep, which they haven't shared with the Atlanteans, but have shared with the little boy. And the Atlanteans are upset about that for some reason. Like, why? It's their secret. They can use it with whoever they want. And also, if it's trying to imply that the Atlanteans taught them how to breathe water, then why the hell do they need the diving equipment? Literally none of this makes sense, and the bits that do make sense are fucking stupid.
We're not here by chance. We found you with this.
Ha!
The fuck is this? Poor unfortunate soul.
You're right. It was in a bottle that I found, and then...
It is strictly forbidden to send a...
Yeah, can we solve the mystery as to why Rasputin's eye is going all wonky first? Or is it just some sort of post-traumatic twitch from the bomb going off?
message to the surface. Who of you did? Who was it?
It must have been someone.
Oh, thank you for that great deduction, Razalon. It must have been someone. Jesus. Forget Detective Shit from Mouse Police. We've got a new ace detective on the case.
Someone.
It was me.
Jana, you.
Holy shit! It was someone after all!
But why in the name of the devil? You know that we don't want any earthlings down here.
Okay, first of all, you're a bit early with this devil talk. Because the closest equivalent in ancient Greece was probably Pluto or Ares, or some other Greek god who was just as morally questionable. But also, you are Earthlings! Atlantis is on the Earth! It's in the water, but it is on the Earth! You stupid Atlantean fucks!
Yeah, I know. But I was so curious. I wanted to know whether they are really so bad. And actually, he looks rather nice.
Oh good, he has the power to wipe out our civilization. However, he looks nice, so it's not like he could be the Ted Bundy of worlds or anything. No, looks are never deceiving.
You know what? If this doesn't end Atlantis as a thing, I'm gonna go down there and rebalance order to this universe!
So do you. Believe me, Jaina, the people from the Earth are not nice at all. They're always fighting, or worse yet, at war with one another.
What is that?
That's Ruby, my robot.
Well, it appears that you people aren't very nice either, as you inflicted this nightmare on us. I think they got Atlantis confused with Treasure Planet. That had an annoying robot who added nothing to the plot. You stole the character from the wrong movie.
Okay, this is another kind of problem, but I'll give them a pass on this one. The word robot is derived from the Czech word robota, which is a language from a civilization that wouldn't exist for at least another 1,000 years yet. So, even if they invented the robot in ancient Greece, that wouldn't be the word they would have given it. You know, I do love flexing my superior intellect over a bunch of people who barely understood the language that they were speaking when they wrote this.
And washing machine, what's that?
Why does it sound like a Dalek that had its head kicked in by a horse?
I have to do everything for you. Maybe it's not so bad after all up there on the Earth.
Do you have a TV or a computer or at least
I've no idea what you're talking about.
you don't know what a television is?
You can't tell me that the Earthlings are that unbelievably backwards.
May I show him everything?
To be fair, this is probably going to be a point of confusion given that Rasputin left the Earth around the time of World War I, and they somehow regressed back to ancient Greece in a manner of 3 years if this seal is to be believed. So, you'll notice that they've interpreted the idea of utopia by showing the Atlanteans as incredibly advanced, to the point that they've already invented robotics, computers, and television. But strangely enough, they haven't invented the shirt. It's kind of funny that this super advanced race of people seemingly stand around doing nothing, and some of them are willing to risk the destruction of their entire civilization for a bit of excitement at this point.
You know, if someone smart wrote this, I'd probably be looking for commentary. But I don't think there is any. It's just a hunch.
Yana,
And call Robbie. Hey, Petrus, listen to me, Robbie. Why is no one interested in me? They all act as if I was some soulless tin can.
Did Dingo just try to do a joke there? It wasn't very funny, but I can at least recognise it as a joke. So, it's a foot above Comedy Central at this point.
And what about us? This bathtub is too small.
It's not a bathtub, you idiot. It needs to be a tub for it to be a bathtub, you stupid sea-living filth. So they fuck around in the bumper cars for a bit, which I guess is their main form of transportation in Atlantis, and basically just have a look at this stupid past people being confused by future tech segment. It's like the snowman, if it was animated by one person over a single evening.
And that person was very, very drunk.
Well, it looks like he's seen 3 things and hasn't even tried to use any of them or learn anything about his surroundings. Guess that's it for the tour. Okay, so after spending days, possibly weeks, learning how to breathe water so that they can come down here, they are now just going to ditch the place after being there for a grand total of 5 minutes. So then Sick Nips here finds out that he isn't allowed to go home because it's forbidden for him to go to the surface and risk leaking all of their well-guarded information. Seriously though, why do they have any form of access from the surface? If they know that diving equipment is possible, it would be made eventually, right? Why not just seal all entrances off properly? Like, I know that this is one of them Civ games where one person's in the future era and one person's only just invented the axe, but don't underestimate your opponent that much.
We're just talking about you. Yana says I'm not allowed to return to Earth, but I want to so badly. It's a difficult decision, you see. You know our secret.
It's absolutely impossible. We cannot allow Petros to return to Earth.
But why don't you want us humans to know about you? I mean, there's so much we could learn from you.
And they could learn from you too. How to cook, for example. Then I could have more free time.
It's nice to see that the robot is continuing the tradition of selfish dickhead characters in this thing. I do kind of love that everyone is so willing to agree to this. I'm pretty sure that this is a prequel to BioShock and that this place becomes Rapture not long after.
I mean, this is the movie where ancient Greece coexists with Alaska and the Russian Revolution, so we are past the point where things have stopped making sense. might as well let this one go.
Down here. And if I promise not to say anything, not to betray you, if I simply say the message in a bottle was rubbish?
You'd let it out someday.
Please, I'll swear any oaths you want not to betray you.
I hope it's clear to you, Petrus, that you'll bring us all, including Jaina, into the greatest danger if you break your word.
Yeah, like you trust the entirety of your civilization to a kid you've known for the grand total of 5 minutes. Oh, that's exactly what they do.
I would never do anything to harm Jaina. You should know that.
Very well. What do you think? Should we let him go?
I think we can risk it. Thank God.
It's an impossible risk.
It should mean danger for me too. But that doesn't interest you at all. I am worth nothing. All I am to you is a lump of tin.
Rubbish, Robbie. Petrus wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Of course not, Robbie. You're my friend.
Ugh. I couldn't even pretend to think of that wretched toaster oven as my equal. It's of a lesser race. The Robbie race.
But what about Grandpa? Am I not allowed to tell him anything?
No way. You promised to tell no one, and that includes Grandpa.
Pity.
I've been thinking about it, all right. How do you intend to bring us to the surface?
We can't go through the entrance or we'll just be sucked down again.
Can't you just swim back the way you came? Or is it like some sort of vacuum down there? You know what? I don't even care if it is. Could you guys just try to fight it and increase your risk of drowning? That would be good.
But it works with this.
Wow, what is this great thing?
Wow, that great thing is Amazon.
Yana will bring you to just below the surface of the water. There's a spot there where there aren't any fish, so no one can see your arrival.
And Willie and me? Will it take us as well?
No, just swim behind the two of them.
Okay. It's nice to know that the Atlanteans consider fish people to be beneath humans. They have layers to their racism. And fish people are inhuman. Subhumans. And they have to walk. Figuratively. What lovely people they are.
Let's go all aboard.
I hope we're not making a
I'm
mistake.
certain they won't betray us.
Goodbye, everyone. I'm off to share this with the world. Oh, shit. We really walked into that one.
I buy you on.
The dolphin having to walk is a pretty funny image. I'll give him that one. So they majestically float to the top. And that's the scene. Meanwhile, on the beach at the end of the original Shawshank Redemption...
Did you find anything, Judy?
No use yet. My friends are convinced that Petros and Bobo will never return.
And what's the bad news?
That stupid fat fish, why couldn't he hold the two of them?
Exactly. Petros isn't that heavy. I could have held them for sure.
I could have held them both easily.
There's no point in waiting. We have to return to Greece. What do we tell Petros' mom?
Bah! We never wanted him anyway. He was a drunken mistake. In fact, he's the reason that I invented birth control.
Come now, Uzo.
Let's get going.
There.
Oh, what are you, crazy? What do you mean this there? What is that?
There.
Petros! Oh, Petros!
Thank God you're still here. I was afraid I'd have to swim home.
What happened? Are you okay? Did you find Atlantis?
Atlantis? No, I'm afraid there is no Atlantis.
No?
There's also no animation either. What the shit was that dolphin? So the boy ends up lying about the whole Atlantis not being real thing with a subtle message to his grandfather that there is an Atlantis. The grandfather who will later come back to gut this place, dissecting its people and eventually turning it into his scientific monster's paradise.
That's a story for another time. Actually, no, it's not. I don't ever plan on telling that story.
So he says goodbye to his loser sea friends and goes back to Greece to disappoint his family.
Are they angry or happy?
Hard to tell.
Probably both.
Pedros, thank God, nothing happened to you.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yes, she's really just happy to have me back. But I must speak to you about something.
What?
Could you help me build a new boat? The old one is a bit worse for wear.
A new boat? What do you have planned?
Well, I would be able to visit Jaina again.
Ha! Jana!
You know, Bobo's friend.
Well then, let's begin work tomorrow.
I really don't like the implications there.
And so the weird Viking boat sets off. And the film ends with them returning to the loser kingdom on the HMS Jana.
Yes, and it really does just majestically cut off there.
So that's the Empire of Atlantis. A steaming pile of dingo. It's not the best dingo film, given that its runtime is mostly spent faffing about and doesn't have anything particularly funny or outrageous going on, but everyone told me this is worse than it was. I didn't find it anywhere near as long or torturous as I heard it should be. My biggest gripe is that it doesn't really spend anywhere near enough time in Atlantis, which is confusing because the opposite problem wouldn't even be a problem. If this thing started off in Atlantis, I don't think anyone would complain. I guess Dingo just found the ocean appealing, given that it's a big blue void with bugger all in it.
You know what, I'm somewhat amazed that they never actually made a space movie. I mean, think on how little animation you'd have to do about something that's in space. You could cash in on Don Bluth's Space Ace whilst you're at it. Maybe Treasure Planet.
I'm on the verge of making a true scientific discovery. Oh, geez, Rick. My chest ever so hurts. Stop complaining, Rodrigo. I mean, Pedro. I've almost found a way of curing your dodgy nipple. The final frontier is so stupid. My science? You rodent bastard. Grandpa Rick, you lied to me. You told me to jump into a lake to optimize my performance, but you were just trying to kill me again. The polite thing to do would be to do what I was subtly trying to tell you. It would be better for everybody if you drowned. The best parts of you were salvaged from an Atari Jaguar. Oh, that hurt my feelings. All two of them. Oh no! Alzheimer's has finally caught up with me. Yes, it is I, the Alzheimer's. I have come to eat the Doctor and his idiot friends. This is the first time I've ever been wanted by anyone, and it's a Lovecraftian horror that wants to eat me alive. Actually, I don't want to eat you. I didn't bother mentioning that because nobody counts you as a person. Save me, Robbie! Save me, you worthless shit! This is the happiest day of my life.